Okay, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Rooted Intimacy podcast. Boom, 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 tish. I don't have one of those jingles yet, so I need to do it on my own. How is that? As you can see, there's a different background now. I'm in a different place. I was already set up to have a potential client call, and he didn't show up. So I already had the camera set, and I just put a little more lighting, and I was like, okay, fuck it. I'll just do a podcast episode because I wasn't getting to it. I would like to be a bit more consistent with it, but I am not right now. And you can see here, Anel, my partner, has an altar. I'm not sure what it means exactly, but it's a place where she has these special things and she likes to feel, I don't know. But if you were wondering what that weird shit is behind there, it's like women, right? And in all seriousness, I have, you can see here, this DJI recording device. Don't judge me. I know it looks very douchey, but it's better than this one that we bought in India, and we were using it for our previous Fuck It podcast that we were doing together. But in the end, I want you guys to have the best sound. And obviously there are much better devices, but this was within my budget and this one wasn't doing so well. But I could just hold it and then it looks like I'm really professional right now. But the professional ones, like they have it hanging here, right? Oh, fuck the cord. Anyway, another reason I showed you that is because it's called Fine. And I don't know, I just have this weird thing sometimes. I get stuck on these words. Only the people who are really close to me know this. And then I'll say things like that, like fine, and it could be stuck for, it could become a tick now for some time, but you should try it. It's really fun. It's really fun saying that word. Shit, I need to straighten up my shirt so that this. Okay, that was a waste of 2 minutes. So welcome again, welcome back. Not sure what I'm going to talk about today. I procrastinated for about an hour and a half playing around with the different sounds and stuff and trying to be professional, but really it's procrastination, trying to figure out what I'm going to talk about. And I didn't really. And then I was like, fuck it, I just need to start talking because I can procrastinate for a lot. I've procrastinated so much in my life, and I still do. And that's part of the journey. And I understand that. I'm trying to record myself here also for like real, so I pressed the click and then it took me out. I'm still getting a hang of all this stuff here. And it's great because I don't have many viewers and listeners yet, so I can do whatever the fuck I want. And I know that I used to be a huge perfectionist, and now I still try and perfect things even though I don't want to, but I've gotten much better at it. And what I've learned throughout this process of building this business, which included, like I said, building an Instagram page and now the podcast, is that there's this desire within us or within perfectionists that things will be perfect, but it's ironic, or I don't know how you say. I don't know how you say in Hebrew. But basically, we are aiming to reach this perfect episode or be very coherent, or I'll talk about myself. I am aiming to be very coherent and have the perfect reel and content on Instagram. But in order to get there, I have to go through this where I'm talking and blabbering, and I don't know exactly what I'm talking about, and I am cringing myself and you guys. And maybe you're totally bored with what is happening here, and you've just, press stop and go, and that's okay. People are gonna pass on and go to the next song or episode or whatever it is that they're listening to, and I'll get better. This is how I practice, and that's the only way that I'll get to that episode where I strive for. But what is perfect? How do I know? What? Only if I have like a very ideal or coherent line of thought and I lead you through. Maybe I'll get there someday, but do I want to be there? I don't know. maybe this is more fun, but I'm not sure because this is a bit stressful. Now I feel very, very exposed, and I'm in a weird flow right now. So maybe I'll just check in with myself. I'll breathe. Yeah, I guess I'm also nervous and a lot is happening, and I'm a bit is it frustrated or disappointed. I was looking forward to this call, not necessarily because he would become a client. Obviously, it would be beautiful if he would, but just to practice. And I'm a bit hoarse also. Why am I hoarse? Because yeah, I did a lot of screaming yesterday because for the third time this month, someone broke into my motorbike and stole petrol. And my last pair of sunglasses, which really sucked. The petrol is okay, but sunglasses are not easy to find here, good ones. And yeah, I was really angry, so I screamed on the motorbike, and then there was ecstatic dance yesterday, and I screamed some more, and I was able to release, and that's why I am hoarse. And yeah, it's a practice I do every now and then. I used to do it every day or a few times a day, and it's very healthy to release. Anger. I just had this conversation the other day with a friend of mine, and he was saying how many times within his relationship, anger can come up. And then he's just very reactive, and he'll say things that he regrets later, and then she reacts and she regrets it. And there's this, it's very weird, especially at the beginning, okay? But I'll give you this tip or this tool that we use in our relationship. So once I learned to scream, well, this could be much longer if I go deeply into anger, and I'm not sure I want to do that right now. But what I will say is that the environment I grew up in, without mentioning specific names, was an angry environment. There was a lot of anger and a lot of loud yelling and cursing. And to me, that was violence, and anger was always violence. So I was never allowing myself to express my anger, express boundaries many times. And even Anel, did I say that? Yeah, my partner. So she would get angry with me, and then she would look for a reaction from me. She would say, "Why are you not getting angry? I want you to raise your voice. I want you to get angry at me." And I was like, no. And when you're raising your voice, that's violent to me. So I shut down. And it happens many times in relationships. It definitely happened many times in our relationships that there are triggers. And there's that point where you're communicating, you're conversing, and then suddenly you're not there. And then you're like, whoa, what happened? And you said many things, and it was like this. For me, it's like I'm viewing myself from the outside, and I'm like, what am I saying? But I'm this train. I feel like I'm this charging train, and I can't stop myself. And I'm just like, blah. And I'm not proud of it. And so, or I wasn't proud of it. So I got better at it. And then there were different workshops that I learned to express my anger in a healthy way, meaning screaming into a pillow, journaling, writing, cursing people out that in day-to-day life I love or don't love. But if I pick up the phone and I say, fuck you, I hate you, and blah, 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 that is continuing the cycle of violence. And if I just journal it and burn the pages or never show anyone, no one ever sees it, then it's not hurtful. We feel like we hold that in because we are afraid of feeling guilty. Like if I say what I really think about this person, it's horrible. But again, if you scream underwater thinking of someone, if you're punching their face, imagining their face, and you're releasing that, you're not hurting them. Holding that in is what creates resentment over time. Holding that in is what can create this times where you're lashing out at them. And so it's extreme, but within these events of my partner and I going through an argument, and it takes time to reach these points, and I still, till this day, I struggle with it, but like, it's kind of like in meditation when you go back to the breath, when you notice your mind wanders, so suddenly you notice that you're being triggered and you're starting to react from that place. It's pausing, getting up, going for a drink of water. But if you feel that rage, it's like, babe, I am going to scream into a pillow. I'm going in the other room. And it's a bit frightening at times. Like, she's also done it. I was like, whoa, all of that anger is meant to be to me, or I've done all that. But also another thing is that anger that comes up in a relationship, right, is not necessarily something that you have done wrong if your partner is angry with you. There's something coming up for them that you've allowed, that you've triggered, and there is a huge gateway to healing through that. But there's also a huge maybe landslide or pitfall that you could fall into, which is just continuing that cycle. So it's important to catch it and notice that it's healthy that these things come out, because they can actually allow for clearing when done properly. Because if you're used to someone raising their voice at you and then you lash back out, you're just continuing that. But if they raise their voice at you and you're able to breathe for a moment and feel that rage, or then you can go and empty that out in a healthy place. Because what happens is, if I empty it out on you, then it's just going to backfire back at me, and then I'm not really getting rid of that energy. At least that's how I feel. I don't have any scientific explanation. Like, it's not based on science or something. Well, I'm talking a lot. I need water. But I just feel it. I feel it and I see it. I see it within our relationship, that when we do these things and we come back and we're more present, like in the end, if she is expressing something to me and she is angry and mad, she wants to be heard. She wants to be seen. And if I enter my trigger zone and I lash back out, then there is no communication. She is not feeling seen, and that's not good. But if I am able to release that anger in a healthy way and come back and be in my center and just see that anger for what it is, it's just energy. It's not personal right now. Even if she's saying personal things, even if it's noticing her inner child, right? Because if there was a little child and screaming, calling me like, "Oh, you stupid pee-pee caca," because that's what children say, right? That's all they say. Stupid pee-pee caca. I love it. Wish we could go back to those days, like not like all these like, "Oh, fuck you, you fucking." I hope children aren't listening to this, because yeah. Anyway, and I can see her as if it's just her inner child, right? If there's like a 5-year-old saying "stupid pee-pee caca" to me, I wouldn't get offended. So if I can view her for a moment in my mind like that, but in a loving way, not in a derogatory way, like putting her down. I'm not saying, "Oh, you're just a child. Oh, you're just acting out. No, I am silent. I am looking her in the eyes. I am listening to her. And for whatever matter, it could be anyone. It can be a parent. It can be a friend that is expressing anger right now, and not taking it automatically to a place of defensiveness. Then they will feel seen. That energy is like a balloon, will just like, and then suddenly there will also be space for you. And you can react and you can say, "Are you also able to hear my side right now? Are you open to it?" And that is a huge cycle that happens too many times, too often in relationships. And both sides end up left feeling unseen, unheard, and lonely. And then they make up, but that wound is there underneath. Whether it's just like they brush it aside because they've calmed down a bit and they don't want to have that drama. They want to have that. Sometimes it's really hard to talk like vulnerably. I don't think that rage is vulnerable necessarily. But underneath that rage, there are fears. There are things that aren't being said. And once we can release that anger, we can bring that vulnerability, say like, "Hey, when you did this and this actually made me feel really hurt or unseen. And I would appreciate if next time you could do this, or I would appreciate if you could just give me a hug in those moments." And that's a whole different conversation. Because when someone yells at me, I don't want to listen. I want to punch them in the face. I want to run away. I want to get out of there. And it takes both sides. Obviously, I'm speaking to both sides. And it takes practice. but it works. And it takes time, but it fucking works. And I wish governments use this, and I wish like people in offices, like this is conflict resolution 101. And healing. Because again, like I said, that energy that's built up, that is somatic, that is in your fascia, that I don't know, I like using that word, I'm not sure what it is, but it means that it's stored in the body. Like that anger has been there for years. And what I've understood is that an emotional relationship, because of the closeness, because of that feeling of safety many times, although it could also be because like now I'm in a relationship, so now you owe me and you're supposed to see me, you're supposed to da-da-da. But for whatever reason it is, some layers start coming off. And then these things can start coming out. And like I said, it can be viewed as bad, but if we change the script and we say, okay, this is actually healthy, we just need to learn a healthier way to communicate these things, then it becomes beautiful. Now, bringing, again, like I said, not coherent, but bringing it back to the podcast, what I started saying at the beginning, like just starting, that is a big element, a big pillar of healthy masculinity in my eyes. And it's about taking that step, moving forward, okay? Healthy masculine energy has a direction. Doesn't mean it won't change. It doesn't mean we won't be confused. That is okay, especially if we bring it. We say, oh, I'm confused, I don't know, okay. But just start. And that's also about, like people say about hitting on women. I don't know why it's called hitting on women. I'm not sure I like that term, but I don't have a better term right now. Maybe it's initiating, okay? When a man wants to initiate with a woman. So the more you are waiting and cringing and being confused, then that energy is felt, and then there's a high chance that she won't want to speak to you. On the other hand, she might see it as you being vulnerable. But the idea is going for it. Or more than what she would think, it's what you feel. Like I know the more I'm in my head when I see a girl that I want to talk to, a woman, then the fear just builds and builds, and you need to take that step. And it's okay. It took me 2 years to start this podcast and Instagram page, but at some point I just leaped and I started, and it's messy and it's challenging, and it's every day waking up. It is getting easier, but it's still every day waking up and like pushing myself forward, moving myself forward. But the fruit is, how do you say, immediate. Because I feel good with myself, that I have overcome a fear of mine. Now, the idea is, the intelligent way to go about it is that I am taking a step that is out of my comfort zone, but it's not too scary. And that is something I work on with my clients. Like we work with specific goals. I have a method that I work with 3 months, but we have specific goals for each client that they raise. And I say, I want you to choose goals that feel enough out of your comfort zone to create movement and growth, but not too far out of your comfort zone that will create you to freeze or cause for too much fear, okay? But they grow as you go along because it's stepping stones. It's just like going to the gym. You raise 5 kilos and then your muscle gets a bit bigger, and then you can do 7.5, and then it gets bigger, and then you do 10. And suddenly you're at 20 and you haven't even noticed. So that's amazing. And the last thing, I don't know if it's going to be the last thing, but I want to say that it's the last thing in case you're losing attention. And I do want to end because I'm tired and my jaw hurts from a lot of talking, is gratitude. And like stopping for a moment and looking back at all that you have done, all that growth. For instance, I say like, I'm only at 360 followers on Instagram, right? First of all, that's a point of view. I can say I am already at 360 followers after 2.5 months, a new account, okay? But they have 40,000, no, I already have 360, but more than anything, it's like I'm feeling, oh, but I want more. I want to reach the 400. I want to reach the 1,000 mark. But then like I was going through some things on the computer and I saw a screenshot from a few weeks ago where I was at 127 followers. And I remember what I was feeling then. I was like, wow, I've more than doubled, right? Yeah, more than doubled the followers. And like, that's huge. I need to celebrate that. And I was talking again today about the art of manifestation, which is something I'm trying to learn and study more on that later because I'm still trying to crack it. But the idea is really, I think at the essence of it is embodying the energy of what we believe we'll feel when we get all those things we want. So it's really being in that gratitude, feeling, wow, because the bar is constantly moving. It's 360, but now I want 1,000, and I reach 1,000 and I want 2,000. When am I ever gonna stop and appreciate? And more than the followers, that was just an example. What I'm really, really focusing on is the amount of posts that I'm doing, because that is the movement I am creating. I don't really have much control on how many followers, right? I only have control of putting that video out, putting that content out, educating, or at least trying to educate, bring content that I feel is beneficial and will add value. Creating another podcast episode, even though all I want to do is just go to the beach or watch Netflix, which I find times to do, I need to do, but I still want to make sure that I'm moving forward, just because then I go to sleep at the end of the day, feel like much better. And I've taken those scary steps and moved myself forward with courage, and I can be proud of myself for that. Not because now I'm making millions and I have 100,000 followers, but because I moved forward. And I'm speaking about myself, but I'm speaking to you. I don't want to speak to you like I'm this preacher, but I believe that these things are beneficial to all of us. Focusing on the movement, the doing, again, in a balanced way, and less on the outcome and results. Every now and then we should think about what results we want so that we have a clear direction, right? But then moving with grace, moving with trust, and allowing for things to unfold, but moving. And I'll leave you with that. I don't have any fancy sentence to say at the end, except for whoever's here and listen through this mess. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you. I really hope that I've added some value to you. And I will see you next time. And I want to leave you with something, but like I said, I don't have something smart to say. But maybe just make that step the smallest possible that you're able to do that isn't too scary, and just take that step. Whatever it is, if it's something you want to learn, if it's the gym, if you want to learn meditation, fuck all of those courses and what people are saying and like, you got to take big steps. No. Start small. Just create movement if you feel frozen right now. Okay? I love you all, and I'll see you next time. I don't know when that will be because I'm in this free flow. I wish it would be once a week, but I see I'm not getting to it. But maybe I'll get better with time management soon. All right. Arrivederci.